Hello, everyone. It's Thursday night, which I can't believe it's Thursday night. The week has already flown
By
by.
so fast.
No, and I usually end my pot. I usually don't do Friday nights, although I did do Friday nights for Chris McNally because he's a doll. But I
Very.
usually, yeah, I love him. You mean I'm like, wait, he's got time for us? Okay, anything you want. But I'm ending the week on a high note, Sarah. I've been dying to meet you.
Wait, I'm so
I
excited to meet you too, Roxanne. I can't wait. I'm so excited to
I think
chat.
everyone here is excited. We even have, I want to show you a cute one of my first messages we got. I'm going to share it right away because it's so cute.
Okay.
I like what she had to say. Okay. I'm not sure if it's Rosie or if it's somebody else that's using, I don't know. I think she said hi, it's Shelby too. So there might be someone using someone's, iPad or whatever. It
Yeah.
says, "Hi, Roxanne. I often only listen, but tonight I wanted to chat because I love Hannah on When Hope Calls, and Sarah is so much fun in her interviews."
Oh my
Mm.
gosh, Rosie, you're the best.
Isn't that the cutest? I
That's
love that
really nice.
already.
That's so nice. Thank you. Yay.
Yes.
Hi,
And then
Rosie.
somebody's multitasking. Oh, so this is cute. So she doesn't want to miss, Arlene doesn't want to miss the live. So she's multitasking. She's watching the National Spelling Bee
Love
while
that.
she's waiting and gonna chat with us, which is
I
nice.
love that. I want to watch that too.
I know.
I don't know if I've ever seen one. I'd like to watch one. But thanks for
We
being
used to
here,
host
Arlene.
them. I'm a
Hi.
teacher. We used to host them, but we haven't in a
That's
long
funny.
time. Now,
Yeah.
direct, like, listen, I want you to put out the word before we start. Sarah, did I even get to say hello? I'm with Sarah of when I was going to say when calls the heart. Oh my God, when hope
You know what? It's
calls.
easy to mix up. I get it.
Yes. And I'm a big fan of that. But you've have other things that I saw that you were doing. You have to tell us a little bit about it. But we connect you with also Nick because your two characters are,
Yes.
like share a lot of screen time. So
Yeah.
I have been shopping around trying to find Nick and the proper like his proper management team. I had the wrong one for whatever reason.
Oh
And because
no.
we would love for him to be a guest too.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes.
100%.
We have to like, so if you see him in passing, you say, Roxanne wants to talk with you.
100%. She's upset. She's gonna yell at you.
You know what? You got a lot of fans that love him. So they would be just
Love
so
that.
excited.
Yes, you should absolutely do it. 100%. I'm sure he will. I'm sure
Okay.
he will.
All right.
That's
So before
fun.
we get into Hannah, let's learn about Sarah. Tell us a little bit. You don't have to get into all the intimate details, but just a little bit about your acting journey, especially how you got to this spot.
Yeah, I think the story I always tell, because I think this is really cool. And I think it's really cool just for people, just the whole concept of following your heart, your gut, what feels right to you. So I'll
Mhm.
make the story short because it's a story. But
Okay. I
in
want to
high
hear it.
school, you got me on stage, I would have been like, I'm good. The only reason I wanted to get on stage was to sing. I've always been a singer. And in my gap year after high school, I went to try an acting class. So I went to do like an introductory class in downtown Toronto. And the head of the school was encouraging me to seek representation, get an agent. And I just kind of went, I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea what I'm doing. Like, I actually said, no, like, let me get better. And then, we can talk about an agent, but I don't even know what I'm doing here. So I started another class and then I got encouraged again that we've got meetings lined up. We'd really like you to come meet some agents. I went, all right. So I met with one agent. I had a couple meetings the following week, but it was a Friday and this was my second meeting. Couple meetings the following week, and I went in with my mom. I was about 18 or so, and we met this agent. It felt really great, but we were kind of like, we have a couple meetings lined up. We'll speak with you next week, but we feel great about you. We left the building, went down the escalator, went over to the car, and my mom looks at me and goes, "We have to go right back up and sign today." And I was like, so embarrassing. We just told her we were going to tell her next week. Like, can we just wait? She was like, no. Today's the day. We got to go. And I was like, okay, fine. So we went back up. We knocked on the door and went, hey, I'm so sorry, Canadian. We apologize for just about everything. And we walked in and we just went, I'm so sorry, but we actually feel great. We don't need to meet anyone else. We're going to sign with you today. And the agent said, that's great. I actually have an audition for you for Monday. And it was for a TV show called Degrassi, where I played Becky Baker for 3 years. Yeah.
Yes.
So four auditions later, I did 4 auditions for the show. I was the only girl joining the cast that year. And I think I walked in and, her character name also is Little Miss Sunshine. Her character name's
Mhm.
Becky Baker, but people call her that. And I think I just walked in. I didn't know what was at stake because I didn't really know what I was doing. So I kind of just went, "Hey,
Mhm.
everybody." And I think they were like, "Oh my God, I think that's her." So it kind of I fell in. I always say this, but it couldn't be more true. I fell in, I fell head over heels, obsessed, in love with it. And so I guess my biggest thing is if something feels right, you don't have to have any idea why. You don't have to have any answers, but follow what
Sure.
feels good to you.
And
Because
yeah.
now I'm here loving what I do even more than I ever have. So yeah.
Yes. How many TV series or yeah, or series in general have you done? Is when Hope Calls your third, fourth,
I think it's my fourth. I think it might be
fourth?
my fourth. Yeah. And I auditioned for When Hope Calls a year ago.
Mhm.
Um, and it was actually when I was visiting. I live in LA now, but I was visiting home, which is Toronto. And I did the audition with my sister, who's not an actor but is amazing and helps me with everything always. She's so great. So she helped me with this audition. Um, and another thing that's like just good to know is
Uh-huh.
I I left the audition not feeling that great about it. Like I left
Mm,
being like, I feel good about the work. I didn't like how what the lighting was doing. I
right.
kind of feel it. So I left kind of going, oh, I don't know. Like I hope that went well, but I'm really picky and I was like, I don't know if I like this or that. Um, and then it all just kind of started to unfold. And, I met with Cindy and a bunch of wonderful people and producers, director, people involved, writer, Alfonso, who's just brilliant. And I met with all of them and was supposed to have a chemistry read. And
Mhm.
Cindy was on set because I don't come in until episode 3. And
Right.
uh, and there was a huge storm on set and they were like, we can't do the chemistry read, but then I ended up getting the call that I got it. So it just
That's
kind of unfolded. And yeah, I'm very, very excited for sure.
Did you have to do a chemistry, just one, or oh, you didn't have to do the chemistry read?
No,
No.
the only chemistry read actually was with Cindy, not with Nick. I don't
Mhm.
know if they booked him yet or not. I actually am not sure the order of that, but I was supposed to just have it with Cindy, and then it was,
Mhm.
thunder lightning, and they're like, "Well, cheers, this is not happening today." And then they were like, I don't know, we feel great. We're excited about all of this, and we just sort of move forward. So
That is
yeah, so
cool.
here we are.
It was meant to be. And what I love is that, so I watch, I always do my little research. You're never the same when you're on the screen. You're always different. Like you look different even some at times. So
Mhm.
that's I love that about actors. When sometimes an actor, and it's not the actor's fault, but they sort of get like pigeonholed into like a type of
Sure.
character. Sure, right, okay. But
Yeah.
you're different every time you're on. Even the way that you look, that when I was doing my research, I'm like, wait a minute, is that her? Like I had to look to make sure it was you, which I
Yeah.
think is funny. And then I'll hear your voice and I'm like, oh, it is her. So I
Yeah.
like that. I like that about you. Your
You.
character, Hannah, and uh, Jenny, I call her Jenny Dolores. I had Lila on.
Yeah.
I love that character so much. And then
So
after I
great.
got to meet her, Lila, I was like, "Oh my God, I love that character even more
Yeah.
because she's just so perfect as her." And then I'm like, and I love
Yeah.
Sarah too. So now I'm going to go see if Sarah will talk to me.
Of course, Roxanne, any day. Are you kidding me?
All
Anytime.
right. Now, before we dive into Hannah and learn all the little secrets about her, let's do some fun stuff. I'm going to share with you real quick some of the love that they're showing you, and then you could just tell us some fun, dumb little fun facts, like the little fun facts that I shared.
I love that. Let's do it.
Yes. All right. So wait a minute. You never know where they lead. I think it was Chris McNally. I was asking him about a song that he was listening to on repeat because I know he loves Sound of Music. And he told us this whole big story that was amazing. So you never know what comes out of what.
That's
But
the beauty of it.
I know. What was it? I wanted to show right here. This is what Mary was saying about failure footsteps always lead somewhere. Best to keep trying, do it anyway.
100. Failing's the best thing you can do. If you
Yep,
didn't fail, you didn't try. It's the best
you're
thing you can
right.
do.
Arlene says, I love Hannah. She's
Aw.
bold, independent, and has a caring heart. She seems like her memories of her uncle are bringing her true self to the forefront. I feel the same way. I like how they're writing your character. Yeah.
Thanks, Arlene. Yeah, I do too.
There's some questions I'm going to hold on, but someone here was just saying that you were physically beautiful. There, someone was saying that.
Oh,
Here she is,
thank you. Oh,
Christina.
that's
She's
so
beautiful.
nice. Oh, thanks,
Yeah,
Christina.
yeah.
That's so
And
nice.
I know. And Judy says, "I love Sarah as well. She's perfect."
Judy, what? Oh my gosh, it's a fabulous picture too.
That's cute.
You guys, it's so nice. I'm so happy to
Right.
be here.
Good. We're happy you're here too. All right. So let's learn some of our fun little silly facts. Like for instance, it's summer, although it doesn't feel like summer. Does it feel like summer in Canada?
Well,
'Cause
I'm in
what?
LA right now, so it feels
Oh,
like summer every day where I am. But
good.
at home,
Mhm.
no, it doesn't. I was on the phone with my sister today, and it was pouring rain. So
Same here. They
it's
gave
just
us the
rude.
rain. It's
Where
bad.
do you come from?
I'm from New Jersey, South Jersey, outside
Oh,
of like
nice.
30
Okay.
minutes from Atlantic
It's raining
City and
too.
yes, rain, rain. We've had rain.
Man,
We've had rain for like 8 days straight. It's ridiculous.
it's so
Whatever.
ridiculous.
All right. So tell us what one of your fun summer activities is. What do you like to do in the
Oh,
summer?
a summer activity? Oh man. Well, my parents moved a couple hours north from Toronto. So I'll
Mhm.
go out to the pier and like jump off with my niece and nephew. Although, and it's a lake. Like, we're
Mhm.
near Collingwood, so it's a
Yeah.
lake. But we had like ocean waves last time. Last year they were so high. We were a little concerned for the kids. We were like, we
Really?
need to get out. They were huge. Yeah, but I love that stuff. So we were like
Mhm.
running off the pier, jumping in the lake, which is so fun. And I love just spending time up there. It's like, it's the second you get out of any big city. I'm a city girl. I love the city life,
Mhm.
just like Hannah, but I love the escape because, like, in the drive, there's a very specific point you reach where all of a sudden all of the stress and anxiety from the city just kind of leaves you and you
Mhm.
physically feel lighter. You just feel this shift. So when I get to go up there, it's like raining is
Nice.
my favorite thing because then you're sitting on the back deck listening and smelling rain and it's like the most
It
beautiful
smells
thing ever.
good.
So
Yeah,
it's
that's
so
true.
good. It's such a good smell.
Yeah.
So I would say going up to the cottage is one of my favorite things. I mean, I love trips. Like I love going on trips. I love visiting new places. I'm supposed to go to Portugal, south of France this year, which I'm excited about.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I'm pumped about that. Yeah, I love traveling. Trying to think of what else. I mean, I like a good hike, but I'm also very good at sweating. And when it's summer and I'm out here in LA going on a hike, like I'm just
Yeah.
dripping to toe.
Yeah.
So it's fun
No.
and not fun at the same time.
Yeah. No. And no, 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 no.
No,
How
and
about
big
oh
no.
no. How about have you binge watched anything? Like maybe a recommendation for some of us.
I did. I just watched I think it's called Presumed Innocent with Jake Gyllenhaal on Apple TV. Phenomenal.
Oh.
It is
Oh.
incredible. It's a short mini series, which I love. I think it's 8 episodes, 45 minutes each or something like that. But I love that kind of thing because I love being in and out of something. Like when you've
Mhm.
got like, it feels like work, even though it's the best kind of work. When you're like, I've got 5 seasons of 22 episodes to binge. Like this is
Mm.
right? But this is in eight
Love it.
episodes. You're in and out, and it's done. And it's incredible. The acting's just amazing. Jake Gyllenhaal was phenomenal. There's so many great actors in the show, some of which I haven't seen before, which is awesome. And it's just
Ooh.
every episode. It's one of those ones where you're like, it's 11:30. I shouldn't watch another one. All right, and you just
And you
press play.
have to anyway?
You have no
Okay.
choice. You have
I
no
know.
choice. So I love I love Presumed Innocent. I'm waiting to I want to binge another show though. I'm in that like if anyone has suggestions, throw them at me because I'm in the binge
Mhm.
mood and now I need something else because it's done and I'm upset.
You wanna watch something else.
I
I
know.
like something, on it was on ABC. There's some
Mhm.
silliness to it, but I still enjoyed it anyway, and it was called Potential, and it's,
Okay.
yeah, it's I binged it because I was, like, during the weekend, and someone who
Yeah.
recommended to me he and I have the same taste, and it was good. There's a little bit of silliness in it, but it's good. There's a
Yeah.
mystery, and there
Love that.
she's got, like, super brain, but it has
Yeah.
worked against her that she can't focus. Anyway, she helps solve mysteries by looking at scenes and seeing things that people can't see. And
Oh, cool.
and her house is a hot mess, and it takes
Yeah,
place in California, and maybe Los Angeles, does it? I forget now. It's somewhere in California. Anyway, that
yeah.
was good. I liked it. It's
Oh,
fun.
nice. Oh, I like
If you
that. I know
get
it's
on
always
your
good when it's
TV.
good. But when you put the effort in and then it's like not the ending you want, it's rough.
Yeah.
But sometimes you're like, well, you
Yep.
know what? We're in it for the ride.
Yep. 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 Just get on, and I did ABC on demand, and it popped up, and I was able to. I was like, I couldn't put that away. I was like, well, I'm gonna finish it. Then they become like your friends because you binge watched, I don't know, 10, at
Yeah.
least 10 episodes or more in 2 days, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, it's so true. No, it's a real struggle. We all feel it.
What about junk food?
Ooh, junk
what's
food.
your junk food?
So many things. So my first thing on the list is gonna be the mini Ritz crackers that are real cheese. I don't know how it could possibly be real cheese.
No.
They're
The
my
orange.
favorite. I've worked on sets before. And you know what? I'm gonna just keep telling myself that. I'm gonna keep telling myself
Mhm.
that it is real cheese. But I've been on sets where they know that I love them and they bring me boxes. They would just bring
Aw.
boxes to my dressing room. Um, so I'm gonna say that's my number one. But
Good one.
I love so many. I love a Hershey's Kiss. Those it's white chocolate with like the cookies and cream. Those ones are really
Yes.
good.
That's different. That's different. Yeah.
I don't think I would even trust someone if they didn't like that. I'd be like, "What? Really?"
No, that's good. That's really
I
good.
do mix with when I'm out of the movie theater, I always mix popcorn with Raisinets, which is such a funny mixture. But this way I get the salt, the sweet, and the chewy
Yep.
and the crunchy. So I get a mix of
Yes.
all the things. So I'll usually get like a Raisinette or like chocolate raisins,
Mhm.
wherever they're from, and I'll mix them in with popcorn. I used to do Maltesers, but now I'm in the States and they don't have them, which makes me very upset. So
I know what they are
I
too,
know
and they're
it's
good.
really
They're good.
sad.
They're good. They're very good. My mom
Yeah,
used to do that when we would go to the movies when I was little, mix,
so good.
sweet and crunchy and
Only way to
buttery
keep
and all
it.
that together. Yum. Now we all have to go to the movies now. All right, so we know a little bit about Sarah. Thank you for sharing that.
Of
And,
course.
we're gonna jump into Hannah. They have lots of
Jump
questions and
in.
comments for you.
I
So,
love it.
my first question to get us, like, started is, like, when we say Hannah, what do you think of her? Like, what do you think is her drive, who she is? Like, you don't have to tell us all her secrets, but some. Like, who is Hannah?
Well, she was born in not okay. She's you know what? I think she's a really fun role to play for me. And there's so many different parts to that. I mean, part of it is I've never been in a time period piece. So I've never played someone from the 1920s before. So yeah, I've never done
Oh.
that. So to be in these costumes that are so fabulous, the hair and makeup, I've got 50 additional pieces of hair. I wish it was all mine, but it's super is not. And
Beautiful,
like I've got
beautiful
this
hair.
mermaid braid and oh, it's so cool. I've never done that before. That was a really big
Mhm.
draw for me in being a part of this project and bringing Hannah to life was getting to play a period piece. How does that change how she walks into a room? Like what did she have to go through to be in the position she's in to own a business? And now she owns a ranch. And
Yeah.
what did that look like back then? So yeah, I think she's bold, she's tough. She's had to be because she's really hustled on her own to get herself where she is. So she's independent. Um, and she's very creative, she's very smart, I mean, it's so what I love so much is she's drawn to the city life and the country life. The city life is her heart and her childhood, and you know or sorry, the country life is her childhood and her
Mhm.
heart and where she was raised. And she was raised, on horseback, like listening to Uncle Ray and all his words of wisdom, and like laughing in fields with cows. Like that's where she grew up. And then she fell into the hustle of city life and like owning a business in St. Louis. So something I've loved about her is this pull, like these two worlds that couldn't be more different for her to figure out where she belongs and where she sits. And although she's so tough, you see so many vulnerable moments, even though she doesn't want to show them. You see a lot of moments where she's really so unsure
Mhm.
where she belongs, who she is, even though she seems very. I mean, she's coming to Brookfield to go right back out. She's coming in for business and she's out is the plan. So of course
Mhm.
it starts pulling at her heartstrings, but that's something I've loved bringing the character to life is this constant tug of war and which side's gonna win. So that's something I've loved. But I feel like I've been told this too, which is funny. Her energy is quite different from me. And I love that. Like I love getting to play someone who I think is quite different from me in most, or at least in a lot of ways is different. So it's been really fun, just even with these, amazing coats. Like, how does she enter a room? And like, it's so cool. I've loved it.
So your costumes, well, of course, so Hannah designs dresses, right? Or designs clothing. And did you, like, when it came time to your costumes, yours are quite fancy, a little more, and I know it's kind of more toned down because you are on the ranch, but did you get to have any say in what they look like, or did they like lay out and say you have this option, or was it pretty much done for you?
You always have a say, which is great. I mean, the wardrobe department are incredible, and they were like, here's an option. If you're not comfortable, you don't have to wear this. You don't have to do that. What do you feel about that? So I would definitely vocalize, how I was feeling about things. But I mean, they're also back there like sewing stuff together, and you're like, this is incredible. So it was so cool. Yeah, it was so exciting, and something great as well is the hair, makeup, and wardrobe team all together sort of said to me, one of the things they said early on was, we want Hannah to stand out.
Yes.
Because she doesn't fit in. So she can't have that Brookfield thing about her. That's just this warmth and all this. She's got to come in and really not fit in this world. So they all said, and not to mention, she comes from St. Louis, owning her own dress shop company.
Right. Yeah.
So she's got to look different. And I loved that. I'm not going to lie. I usually, just because I naturally end up, I usually have a bit more highlights in my hair. So usually I'm playing more of the blue-eyed with a bit of blonde kind of thing. And what I've loved about this, that come in with this dark, long hair, braid, and she's coming on horseback. And you're like, in these dark red, like that amazing
deep colors. Yes.
Oh, it's so great. So she comes in and she kind of brings this like fierce energy to Brookfield. I love that. Like I was so excited about it. So I was like, oh, bring it on. Let's do it. Like I'm all in. She does need to be different. She does need to feel like she doesn't fit. And it'll be exciting to see where that goes with her, her life there. And like, what does that mean? And is she going to start living the rancher life? Is she always going to be the designer that she is? And she's still going to lean into like, yeah, I'll be a rancher, but I'm going to be a rancher with like a really cool hat or like whatever.
I know. I don't want her to lose her fancy. And although, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of unique to her. I was thinking with all of that on, by the way, do the women wear corsets or anything or no on this show?
So I don't know about other people. I had them, and I've got to tell you, I had them as an option of something to wear. I find if I am in something that tight all day, I'll get I don't know if claustrophobic is the right word, but and especially if it's hot out or anything like that, I'll pretty quickly be like, this needs to go. So I just mentioned, you know what? There's so many layers. They won't make a big difference, but my comfort will be very different without one. So it was talked about, and the wardrobe department were fabulous and were very quick to go, if you're not comfortable with that, let's not wear them. It's totally fine. I was very aware of my posture and what the posture would look like back then. So I wanted to make sure that was apparent even without one, but I knew if I wore one, I'd be a bit like, so I just felt like maybe
too much of a distraction.
A little bit.
With all of the layers that you have on, because you can tell that you're riding. What's it like to ride on a horse with all of that clothing?
It's fabulous. Getting on the horse is a different thing. Something fun, a little side note that people may have heard in other interviews, but for anyone who hasn't, wardrobe wise, you don't realize that these fabulous outfits weigh like, I feel like the coat's 10 pounds. So you don't realize that you're actually carrying a lot of extra weight with all these huge boots and like all these things. Right. And so I have a scene, which now I could talk about because you guys have seen it, I'm sure, the last episode. I turn around and one of the wrestlers has a gun pointing at me and I run it. So on the day, and by that, I mean, when we're filming this, everyone's just so amazing. And they were like, Sarah, would you like your stunt double to run for you? And I was like, guys, I can run. I'll be just fine. But it was pitch black. And if you remember it, it's like a long road with huge trees. And then if you turn right, which is where I end up turning, I go into a huge field. And then where we pick it up, we filmed in a different forest when I turned that corner. But really, I was running into an open field. So I'm running, and I was working with the stunt department, who were incredible, going, okay, there's a rock here. I know you can't see it, but feel it out. So when you run, you
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of know
yeah.
where you're going. Make like a mental map. So we're
Yes.
walking around. But on the day when I'm filming it, I'm like, well, I'm running for my life, so I'm just going to do that. So I turn around and I go to run, and I don't know what I hit. I bumped good into something. And I don't know if anyone knows what I'm talking about when I say I started running forward. You know, when you're
Yes.
falling, but you're running, but it's a fall.
Yes.
And I was like,
Yes.
it feels slow motion to the point where I could go, you're falling, you're going to keep falling. Eventually you'll hit the ground. Who knows when that's going to happen, but this is going to keep happening, and you're just going to full blown, it's coming. And I
Right.
ran and ran, and then I scorpioned. I did this, and my feet flipped over my head. And it was so funny because I just said, guys, please, I'm going to be just fine. I'm going to run on my own. And I'm good. So the stunt, one of the stunt coordinators ran up to me and was like, are you okay? And for whatever reason, first thing I felt I needed to do was I jumped up and I went, I have two brothers. I'm totally fine. Because I grew up play fighting like with my brothers.
Yes. Yes.
That I didn't feel a thing. So that's a fun story with the wardrobe. So I didn't realize running was going to be a real issue.
Right.
But
I didn't even think of that. Yeah. I wasn't
yeah,
even thinking of that. I
it
know.
was a good
All right.
lesson to learn.
We have to share some of the cute things that people are saying and asking, and then
Yes,
we're going
please.
to move here more. Let's see. Hold on right here. This is this one's good. I love this. They're all good. But can you draw like your character, or do you like being creative in an artsy way?
Arlene, very good question. You know what's funny? I definitely can't draw like my character. She's incredible.
Okay.
I actually don't know if I met who drew those pictures. But because had I known, I would have told them how amazing they are. Although I did sketch a little bit on set, I would sketch a little bit, something
Mhm.
like a woman with like a cool outfit, and I did an okay job. I used to sketch a lot as a kid. I would sketch a lot, but not the way it's sketched in the show. Whoever did that is just beyond talented. But I can sketch a little bit. I enjoy it. I think it's really fun. I just haven't done it in a long time. But
Cool.
yeah, not like Hannah.
Cool.
Nope.
Yes, that is, yes, beautiful. Um, I love, oh, this is good, but wait, I want to hold on to that. That's other stuff that has to do with your character, and a possible love interest.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Um, let's see. As an this is her. What's Chris saying? Being a sewer at 55 years, I would love to sew for a series of some kind. She's a good
Oh,
sewer too.
come on to set. Come over to
Yes.
North Bay. It's beautiful.
Yes. Do it. I love it. Okay. Now I call it a scratchy relationship.
Yes,
I,
scratchy
I,
indeed.
I love the way, like Hannah in a, not a, you're used, Hannah stands up and speaks out. I
Yeah.
love the encounter you have with, is it with Tess where Wyatt says, her bite is worse than her bark. And you say, isn't that supposed to be the opposite? And he's like,
Yeah.
yeah, not with her. I love it.
Yeah.
So you have lots of words though. When Hannah explains, she uses lots of words and he uses like a minimal of 5. Like,
Yes.
or a maximum rather of 5.
In a few words. Uh-huh.
Yes. Now, do the two of you ever like talk about or discuss how you're going to approach a scene, just the two of you together, or do you just go for it? You and Nick.
I mean, I think it depends on the scene. There's a beautiful scene where the shells have been cracked a little bit, and they both are
Mhm.
leaning in to
Yep.
something. And it's after all the
Yes.
chaos in the last episode, and they say
Yes.
goodnight.
Yes.
And scenes like that where there was such a big shift for them. Of course, every scene is important and you want to dive into. But yeah, I think for things like that, we both talk about it because we love the slow burn. We all do. We love the slow burn relationship.
Mhm.
And we
Mhm.
want to make sure we're doing that justice and we're not leaning in too much, because I think it just
Mhm.
takes away from
It
when we
does.
finally get to see them together. We all get that, oh, finally, like we get that feeling. So to make sure that was consistent and that we were sticking with with the love story that Alfonso, the writer, so brilliantly crafted for us, was just to make sure we were never leaning in too much to it, and that it was always like maybe a little extra look, or a little smirk, or a little giggle, or that's quickly covered up, like whatever it is. It was very subtle, and we wanted to make sure we kept with
You did
that.
that.
So
Cool.
yeah, so I think that was something that Nick and I wanted to make sure was there through and through in this season. So yeah, but it's fun. I mean, I love that it's a slow burn, and that we again, I think it would have felt so fast if they had
No.
completely in and fell in by the end. It would have felt really quick. So I'm so happy that we all stuck with it.
So I was saying to Lila when she was on that I was not looking for a new series to fall in love with, and I know about the show, and I happened to watch this one episode. I don't know, was going through the TV, and I was like, wait a minute, I gotta now go back and watch. I had to watch not the Christmas episodes, I had seen them, but I had to watch, I guess 3. I guess it would have been episode 3, and then 4 or 5,
Right.
and I kept up with it. And I was saying, I don't know why. I'm not saying anything negative about the writing, because there's nothing negative to say, and Alfonso is fantastic. But it's not like there's these huge, giant storylines, right? Yet they're coming, because it's like it's all unraveling because it's new. So we're seeing the newness of all the possibilities of like Maggie with is it Maggie and Sam, and then the possibility of your 2 characters, and then of course Nora with Fletcher. Like they're all different, but and they're all good, and they're all good in different ways. But your character, which I love, and what you bring, and then putting that up against the character of Hannah against Wyatt, to me is like we got sparks going, and there's not even a lot happening.
Yay!
Yes.
Oh, that's so good.
I know it took me a long time to get all that out, but I mean,
no, I love it.
It's here's my word, and they're going to know this. I always say, "Oh, it was a delicious scene." That's what I say.
I love that. That's a good word. It's a good word.
Yeah, and that's what I posted this up, where it says the way Hannah can quietly irk Wyatt is so entertaining, and it is.
Yeah.
I like, but his character gives it back. What was in that bag that you had to carry, those feed bags? What was in them to make it really look like? Were they really heavy, or was that you all acting?
You know what? I don't know what they're full of. I don't think it's hay, but it's full of weight. Like it has a weight because, like for me, I mean, I'd rather actually carry the weight than pretend to. I'm like, give me the weight, just make it hard for me. Like I'd rather do that. So I think there was like a 20-pound, 30-pound, like they actually had different weights. And I was like, no, I'll take one that like is going to make me work for it, because why wouldn't I? She is. So like, let's do it. But I don't know what they're full of. Like, I don't really know what's in them, but they do have different weights. So they actually were decently heavy.
And the set itself is amazing because it's real again. I mean, like the orphanage is a real house with an upstairs and everything, yet it doesn't have insulation and air conditioning and heat, which I know of. So how about what we get to see of the ranch, what you're sitting in that room where there's a comment where you say I have to go back where there's electricity. But is that like a real building that you're in?
So they built my ranch on set when we were filming. They built it in about 2 weeks. They built the whole thing. We had I think the barn, like the shed and the barn and all that, I think was already there, I'm pretty sure. But the actual house that was Uncle Ray's home wasn't there. And they built the whole thing. And they built it in about 2 weeks, and dressed it up and decorated the whole space. And they just did a phenomenal job. And I couldn't believe how fast they put it together. It blew my mind. But no, they just built that ground up. We watched it. We watched them build it. It was amazing. Even the porch all around it, like it was just amazing. I couldn't believe it. So yeah, that they built all that, and there is an inside, but there's the main room, and that's it. There's no kitchen. There's no other space. Like if you go around the corner, that's where we normally set up the monitors. So the director, producers, and everyone will be sitting in there watching the monitor. So there's no kitchen and like all these other things. But no, they built it, and they just did such an amazing job. It was so fast. Crazy.
That's really cool. I love all of it. It's so real. Like it's so easy for us to forget, that it's not real. I'm sure it helps, for suspension of, reality for you as an actress too.
Oh
Um,
yeah, for
are you
sure.
looking at the comments?
I
Christina
am. I
says,
keep going back and forth
yeah,
because
it's
I want
okay.
to talk to everyone too. It's awesome.
It says you're cute together. I'm a big Nick Bateman
Aw,
fan, and they work well together. You do. I'm telling you, you have delicious scenes
thank
together.
you.
And
Yay.
we know that is a team effort. We know it's definitely between you
Absolutely.
and Nick, and then of course really good writing and even the directing.
Oh,
Who are your
absolutely.
directors, by the way? Who are the
So
directors?
we actually, the cool thing is that we have different directors for different blocks.
Right.
So I
Okay.
never got to work with the first director. But we had about 3 directors for the 6 episodes. And what's
Cool.
so cool about that is because I've always wondered how that happens, like what switching, because they all have such a different vision of what it looks like. So I
Yes.
was always
They have to
wondering,
keep
okay,
it
cool.
together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm always like, well, how does that look going from one director to the other one who have a different vision and have a different idea
Yeah.
of what they want things to look like? But what you realize is it's actually such an amazing gift because you get all these different levels of sparkle because they're all so brilliant
Hmm.
in different ways, but they do have a different creative vision. So you
Hmm.
get to sort of, and what they see for your character, all of a sudden you have
Little
another
light.
little, yeah, like little
Hmm.
peek through to a different side of things that you hadn't thought about before, maybe. But so it's been really exciting because you just are working with so many different people. And um I also love working with directors. I think they're brilliant, and it's cool to have a different energy with them because they all work really differently and very specifically.
So there were 6 episodes, 3 blocks,
6 episodes.
two to a block, right? And
Yes,
how
two,
long
two,
did it?
two.
Yes. How long was filming for the 6 weeks?
So I don't, so I came in later. So I don't
Right.
remember when they started, but the first 2 episodes would have been, yeah, it was about a month or so. I
Mhm.
was filming for about 5 weeks for 4 episodes.
Okay.
Um, because I came, yes, so I had 4 episodes and I came
Mhm.
about a month later, and yeah, I was filming for about 5 weeks. So yeah, through and through, it was a very fast season. So this one was, yeah, I think a total like just over 2 months maybe. So we were in and out pretty quick,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is kind of
Okay.
wild.
I
Um,
know, for all that you have to do and whatnot. That last episode, oh my God, I loved when all the Mounties were riding together. The whole thing.
oh, the music was so good because we
No,
don't
and
know
you
either. So we watch it, and the music is
right.
awesome.
It was really cool. You had a
Yeah.
little mini reunion there. I don't know if you shared a I don't know if you and Trevor Donovan got to actually share a scene together, but
Oh,
you were in a movie together, right?
we have to maybe. You know what's funny? I left my trailer one day, and I walked out, and I looked like down just in between trailers, and I saw him,
Mhm.
and I had no idea he was on the show, and I just went, brother, because he plays my brother, and he went,
Yeah,
sis.
yeah,
We started
yeah.
laughing, and we were like, imagine
Oh,
it's revealed that our characters are somehow related in this show. But
that
yeah,
would
I
be
had no
cool.
idea.
Yeah.
Had no clue that he was going to be involved. It was such a fun surprise. He's so wonderful. So it was, yeah, it was really fun.
Now, that last episode, you're all running around. You told us a little bit about you running around in the dark. It's
Yeah,
really dark out there. I mean, because you're in the
it's
woods.
dark.
It's
Oh yeah,
dark.
dark.
Do you ever encounter real snakes?
No,
Thank God.
not snakes, but I'm sure there are coyotes all over. We're in the
Oh,
And the
oh,
incredible thing is the set is on this huge plot of land. We've got like the town of Brookfield is amazing.
mhm.
But it's a little town. It starts and it ends within 10 buildings. Like it's just a
Okay.
little thing, it's a huge open field. So if you look all around it, it's just a forest. You're just in a big field with a forest behind it. Um, and then we have to get on like a little tractor to like hop over to my ranch, which is like through the field, past the town, down the hill, past Tessa's ranch. We're kind of neighbors, but
You
not in
don't
the
really.
world of Brookfield. But in real life,
Yes.
I'm just down the hill. So we just keep going, and I'm like at the end of the field. So it's just this incredible like plot of land. It's just
Mhm.
amazing. And yeah, it's oh, it's just It's beautiful. I totally forget what your question was. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no, 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 no. We were no, it's actually nothing big. We were talking about the coolness of doing it in the dark. Like do
Oh, yes.
yeah, that
Oh, yeah,
sounds
I'm sure there's so many coyotes and, like, so many different
yes,
things
that's what you
for
were saying because
sure. It's
I had said, "Is there are there snakes?" And you're like, "No, but there are coyotes." And then you were telling us about what the surrounding was like.
You're
Yeah.
right. Thank you,
Yes.
Roxanne. That's
You're
true.
all good. This is part of the question too. Minnie says, "Hi, Minnie. I don't know if I've ever met you, Minnie. Hello, thank you for being here. How was that last action scene, which we're talking about in the woods? Did you look? She even knows it's episode 6 of season 2.
Yeah,
Did you
love it.
have to do a lot of takes? Wasn't it really cold that night? Yes. Good question, Minnie.
It was freezing, Minnie. It was so cold that I had a long sleeve and leggings under my outfit that have a full, like, I don't know how to explain this. It has a heating system within the long sleeve and the pants.
Oh,
And you press a button and it starts to, it's like a furnace. So I would be on extra hot head to toe because it was freezing. It's like, I mean, put it this way. This was the last bit of filming, which would have been, oh boy, like end of November, early to mid November. It had already
hmm.
snowed 3 times before Halloween. So when
Oh,
we're filming that late, it was freezing. Like heating pads in your gloves
yeah,
to keep
yeah,
your
yeah,
hands
yeah,
warm,
yeah,
like
yeah.
freezing. But it's part of the fun of it all too,
It
right?
is.
Like we're all in this place together and
Yeah.
it's exciting, it's fun, there's a lot going on. And like we had to have so many additional lights because we really are in the middle of, you know, there's cows on our way in. Like we have cows all in. So it's very quiet and beautiful, but it's dark and the stars are
It's
beautiful. But we have all these lights to be able to, you know,
to even film it, and it was
even
still dark. And I was laughing because there is, I'm going to say prissy, but not prissy in the bad way, prissy in a good way. Prissy Hannah running around in the woods with all these men, these grizzled men have
oh
been,
yeah,
who are, missed, with their big guns and whatnot. I thought that was great. I thought it was funny. I
so
loved it.
fun. Oh, it was so fun. It was
Yeah.
so great.
And
Yeah.
Wyatt's like, I'm not, and he's like, don't move, don't go. And no, nobody listens. Everybody does the
No, of
wrong.
course not. Of course not. Why would
Dana,
we?
I know. Dana says, I loved how Wyatt
I,
had to check up on Hannah after her ladder incident.
yes. That it's what's nice is it's so subtle because Wyatt, he's a man of few words, but he's very loyal.
Yes.
Hannah has a little more to say, but she is very loyal. And they both start to
Mhm.
learn more and more, sort of through
Yep.
Uncle Ray, what's at
Yes.
the core and what's underneath their shell. And it's actually very similar. And they're also similarly a leader and bold and strong
Yep.
and not back down. And they're gonna go with what they think, which is why they butt heads, but they're actually
Yep.
really similar, which is why they keep seeing these little pieces that they like. And then
Mhm.
they're like, oh, but they don't want to go there, right? They're too like, I'm not going there, I'm
Yeah.
not going there. So
Nope.
yeah,
Nope.
it's a lot
Nope.
of back
Nope.
and forth. It's so fun.
When you think about it, when you even, and like, let's say realistically, you think about this, when you kind of meet somebody that there's like a physical attraction, you sometimes you just can't
Yeah,
help that, whether it goes anywhere, it does or it doesn't. But in the back of when you think about the character of Wyatt's mind, he's not going anywhere. This is his life, the ranch. And
yeah,
Hannah has a whole life somewhere else. So already they're thinking no and no.
yeah,
But then you just can't help it, especially when things change and twists and turns. So
exactly.
I'm loving it. All right.
Exactly. Yeah,
I know.
it's so fun.
I wanted to share a few more, and I know that was like a shift from what we were on, but we're still on the topic
No,
of
of
your
course. Oh my
relationship. Wait, I think I understand what this person is saying. Remember when you were saying that it was built in like what was it, 2 days? They want to know who that is. Because you know how
You know
contractors
what,
take
Dana?
90
It is
years
a crew. It is a whole entire crew because
through.
then once it's built, you have another entire crew who come in and decorate and fill the space with life and chairs and memories. And so through and through, it is a huge group of people who put that together, but they deserve so much credit because not only did they put just such a beautiful place together, but they did it so quickly and efficiently. And like, it's
I
just,
love it.
they blew my mind. They were amazing. Yeah.
So,
Credit to so many
not that
people.
we don't ever want them to come back and have a season 3 because we want a season 3, but you know people, when they have that skill, maybe they can like take it outside of the world and actually really go build something for somebody in 2 days.
That's
Wouldn't
the
that be
thing. I'm
like,
like, "Can you build me this? Because that would be
yes,
you can hop on a plane, I'll get your plane ride, come over to LA and just build me
yes.
something, because that would
It
be
would be
great."
worth it. It would be worth it. It would be so worth it. Christina's saying, I have to be honest, I love the show, but Hannah and Wyatt are my favorite couple. I think I watch only to see what's next for those two.
Christina, thanks for watching. Yeah, it's so fun. It's, you know what? It's a really fun show. And that's the thing. The slow burn is meant to reel you in. So I feel
Mhm.
hopefully it's working. But yeah, it's yeah, it's definitely meant to do that. It keeps you on your toes. And I'm so happy you watch and you like it and enjoy it. That's awesome.
Mhm. Now, this is another really good relationship that's forming here. This is another scratchy, scary one. It will be
Yes.
interesting to see how Hannah and Tess work through the relationship.
Very
Tess
interesting.
is great, but I wouldn't want to be at odds with her.
Yes. Tess is incredible. I mean, Wendy Creason is such an
She's
amazing,
amazing,
sweetest human in the world, brilliant actor.
gorgeous,
Like, she's great.
gorgeous, and
Oh,
in masculine clothing, but looks super feminine in it. She's
she's
amazing.
amazing. She's
Yep.
just so wonderful. And so yeah, it's so fun working with her because they called cut and we're like, how are you doing? Like she's great. She's so wonderful. But yeah, I mean, I love there's so much back and forth, and like they have these little moments. Like Hannah is pretty tough with her too. Like she goes, no, I have my place here, you have
Yep.
yours, and they both
Yep.
don't back down. But
Yep.
there is a few moments where Hannah's like, I hope there's no hard feelings. And I think she really meant it, where she's like, I don't wanna now that I'm
Mhm.
staying, I don't want a problem. But I'm also not gonna back down if you're gonna be tough with me. And they're both tough and didn't get her way. And we'll see how it all unfolds because Tess is a really powerful woman in Brookfield, and so is Hannah. So we'll have to kind of see where that goes. But it was definitely a pretty tricky relationship for this first season. But
Yeah.
yeah,
It's a
it was
good
it
one.
was very fun. Those scenes were really fun.
It sets up like for so much. I mean, it really
Oh
sets up
yeah,
for a lot. It does.
yeah,
And I'm thinking
absolutely.
that if we get Tess right, if we think we understand her, I think she would quietly admire someone who is out there, on her
I
own
think
trying
so
to,
too.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I
right?
think she respects an
Yes.
independent, powerful woman, and the thing I love so
Mhm.
much is that Brookfield is full of them.
Yes.
Just every
Yeah.
every female character has so much power and bravery and strength, and they're brilliant, and they own their own companies. We're nurses, lawyers, like,
Mhm.
and I love that the world of Brookfield in 1920, we've got all these powerhouse women because women are powerhouses, and now we have all these incredible stories, and they all look so different. So
They
I've loved
do.
that. That's been one of my favorite things as well.
And if you look, it is historically accurate that there were women who were cattle ranchers, who
Yeah,
were traveling nurses or doctors, who were
yeah,
lawyers. I mean, it's
absolutely.
not that it's like we're well, now as a teacher we're reading about it, you know what I mean, like we
Yeah,
have this whole awareness, but when I was in school we didn't. Nobody was publishing stories and letting us know, but just
right.
because that was happening doesn't mean it was. And I like that they're doing it out in the middle of
Yeah,
nowhere, you know what I mean,
yeah.
that's a cool
No, me
story.
too. Me too.
Yeah, and you all kind of find
It
each
brings
other
so
and
much. Yeah, I've always said there's like this unspoken trust and bond and
Mhm,
connection. Of course, with Tess, there's a little bit of friction there, but you need the conflict as well. But between so many of the women in Brookfield, there
mhm.
is just this unspoken bond and understanding that we've got each other's backs. And it's one of my favorite parts is the relationship that even if I only have a few minutes with some of those characters, there's always this just knowingness that we're gonna be okay and we're gonna back each other up and we're gonna like there's just this beautiful friendship that doesn't need to be spoken of, doesn't need to be, don't see each other every day, but it doesn't matter. They just show up for each other, which is really cool.
They And there's just even a tiny little moment, I think it's between Hannah and well, there's a cute one between Hannah and Maggie when she helps you out with the bites, and she's got that sweet I love her little
She's
sweetness. But
wonderful. Yeah.
there's, I think it's between you and Nora, like, you're standing outside together, and there's a comment where Hannah almost says, like, "You don't have any friends." She goes, well, I don't know about that. I'm your friend, or we
Yeah,
can be friends. Something. Do you
yeah.
know what I mean? Which scene I'm
Yes,
talking about?
yeah.
Yeah,
She goes, she says you don't have a friend, and she kind of comes up to me, and I
yeah,
have this really sweet moment where I'm like, okay, I've got someone, I've got something, which is great.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. That's
Oh, it's
it.
a great moment. It's so
I
sweet.
know. I love Cindy Busby. She's like
She's
amazing.
wonderful. Yeah, she's so great.
I've
She's
been
so great.
watching her when she was young and she was on Heartland. I love
Oh
that.
yeah, I've been on Heartland too, actually. So that was something her and I were laughing about. Yeah, that
What?
we were like,
Wait a
how
minute.
come we cross paths?
Listen, it's because you look different every time you're on the screen.
There you
That's not
go.
bad. That's a good thing. Now I'm going to go hunt that down. We're almost up to an hour, and I don't like to keep people over an hour, but not that I'm throwing you off, but we've
I'm
covered a
here. I'm
lot.
happy to be here. Whatever you need.
We've covered so much. I do want to share something else that someone said, and then I want you to think about it while I'm sharing this. Like, what do you think you would love where you would love to see season 3 go with your character? That's something you can share. Even though we don't know about a season 3, I'm not even going to ask you or put you on the spot about that. But here's, because I know there is no official word, because I did ask. But I do know that we all want a season 3. So we're just going to keep
Yeah,
talking like one is coming. All right.
love that.
So,
The way to do it. Oh
yes,
man, that's so tricky. I would love to continue the slow burn relationship, but I'd love for it
good.
to stay a slow burn. Again, I think if they
Yes.
fall in, we kind of get rid of what people are loving about it, I think, which is
Yeah.
the fact that we capture these little moments of magic. And that's what makes
Mhm.
us go, oh my God, look at, like, that's what gets us excited, because we're like, just do it, like, go together.
Yes.
But they have a lot to overcome personally, I think, before they can really fully go there. So I'd love to continue to see where that relationship unfolds, and if other people or complications get in the way, and if there's jealousy that comes in the way, that's really exciting
Mhm.
and fun. So I think that could be really cool. And I think for Hannah, I would love to see her find that part of who she that's been so, kind of tucked under for so long.
Mhm.
She's been so far removed from her life on the ranch for such a long time that I'd love to see what it looks like when Hannah leans into that a little bit. But I don't want it to be easy for her, because I think being in a new place and sort of rediscovering yourself in this time in your life should be full of like highs and lows. So I don't want it to be this easy journey
Mhm.
of her rediscovering who she is and where she wants to be and what she loves and what's important to her. I think there should be some incredible highs and incredible lows in that process and that journey for her, of really figuring out where she wants to be, like what matters to her. Um, I mean, don't get me wrong, I will do anything to get myself in a cowgirl hat. Like, just get me the hat, get me the boots, like
Yeah.
I'm ready
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I do think she needs to have just a little
Yes.
more time trying to figure. I don't think she's
Yes.
just gonna, like, second you see her, she's a cowgirl. Like, I don't think we're gonna get there yet, and I don't think it should. I think it should be a slow burn, and in also her finding herself. And is there merriment of like two? Like, are they both? Is it the city and country? And she can have a little piece of both, and that's okay too. And
Mhm.
like, what does that look like for her? And her company, I don't want her to necessarily let it go either. She's worked so hard for it. She loves it. So
Do
how
both.
can she balance all these different pieces of of what makes her who she is? So I think, yeah, I
That's a
think
lot.
if we get to the cowgirl boots, that would be amazing. But I think that's going to be a little bit further down the road.
That's a lot. I like it. Now you did a lot in a short amount of time. You did. I mean, you meaning the whole cast, the whole production, which is amazing, and we love it. I'm curious to know, like, how long of a day is a day? Do you have like limits on how many hours you can work, or do you wind up going
So
with?
yeah, so there can be limits. Sometimes you go overtime, which means we're going over the limit, and that's a whole
Yeah,
other complicated thing. But there's
right.
such an amazing group of people. They work so efficiently and well together. It was such a great
Hmm.
machine. Like, everyone just knew their job, came in, did it, went home. It was really easy. And it's great to be
Cool.
on a set like that, because we've all been on sets that do not work that way.
Mm,
So it's really
yeah,
nice when you're working on a set that is so put together the right way.
yeah,
So yeah, so usually our days would start. I mean, I never had a call this early. I've seen Cindy get called in as early as like 4:30 or something, and I was like,
wow.
ugh. But usually our day would roughly be a 7:30 to 7:30, give or take, but like 7 to 7, somewhere like that. So the actors, the actresses, we would come in. the male actors come in later because our hair and makeup is like a 2 hour. You know, I have all these extensions we're putting in. So
Yeah,
I
you do.
get out of my hair at the end of the day. I need to get out of my wardrobe and then out of my hair. So, and so do so many other actors. So we, so that process takes a little bit of time as well. But yeah, so basically, we'd get called in. So we might get picked up at 6:30. So we're getting hair and makeup done for about 2 hours, wardrobe. And then the men will come in, they're in and out in like 20 minutes. And then we go to set, you know, back and forth in our days. Sometimes we're in all scenes, sometimes we're only in one or two or whatever it is. So you do your day. But if you're in a full day, usually you're doing about a 12-hour day. But we have an hour lunch, so we get to really, you know, take a moment, get back in sweats, have like a moment to just relax and do our thing. And yeah, it's a really easy day. I mean, they're long, but I love what I do so much. I'm like, I'll work a week nonstop. I don't care.
That's nice when you like what you do. Like, that's important, because it's terrible when you have to go to work somewhere and you don't like it. I don't care what your job is. You know what it is, like doctor, actor, teacher, working, you know, a greeter at Walmart, whatever it is. If you don't like your day, could you imagine if you didn't like people and it was a bad situation, you had to be a greeter at some place? Like,
no, it would be so hard. It would be a good thing I'm an actor. I'd be like, thank you. Right. I can like try my best to seem genuinely happy to be here.
Now,
it's true. What you do is so important. So important.
Now, what about who keeps the mood light? Like, who when you're having your lunch, who's like a jokester? Give us some secrets.
You know what's funny is we actually have lunch in our trailers. So we don't have like a lunchroom where we like go to, because the set doesn't really have a space. And it was all for that, and it's cold. So we're in our trailers, like, you know, we're in our trailers. yeah, literally. So, but I mean, like, there's so, like, the truth is, it is so fun to come to a set where cast, crew, like producers, writers, like everyone, makeup team, the actors, like every time I'm around anybody, I have a blast. Like, I don't have, I mean, I love being on set and I just love people, but we've all talked about how all of us just couldn't get along better. And it's so great to come to set doing a job you love with people that you love. So through and through, I mean, it's just been absolutely amazing. Ronnie makes everyone laugh.
He's so cute. He's cute. I know.
He's so wonderful. He makes everyone laugh. He is so brilliant. He's so wonderful at comedy, and he will throw lines out. Like, he'll just throw in extra words. So like every time I'm around him, I just can't not be smiling so big. But I'm like that because I'm so happy to be there. So I'm usually smiling pretty big anyway.
Oh, that's good. That's good. And you know what? Then we get to, that conveys over the screen. Like, we get to see that. That's a benefit for us as the fans. Rosie said, did I see Hannah have a moment of curiosity when Lucy borrowed Wyatt?
Well, you may just have just a little bit. It was just a little moment, but it was fun because they were leaving. So I'm like, he doesn't see her. So she can have this moment. And I don't even know if she knew exactly what it was. She just didn't like it. She wasn't about it, but she couldn't maybe put her finger on exactly what that means for her and him and the relationship. But she was like, I don't like how that felt. And it was very clear, and they had left. So she was kind of just sitting in it, just kind of a little numb to, like, just sitting in the feeling of going, whatever it is, I don't like it. So
you don't want to. You already got too much to unpack. Not this too,
That's
right?
True. That's true.
So we're going to end with talking about ways that we can support the show. Of course, everyone's like, season 3. Yes, we want a season 3. So one of the fun things to do is to get on X and to use the official hashtag and to get it to trend, and it gets the eye of
absolutely
powers that be over at the channel. And they're saying, if we get a season 3 with When Hope Calls, do you envision any of the cast posting on X with the fans? Quite a few of us share on there, and it's fun. It is. It really is.
Absolutely. I 100%. It's funny. so many of the cast were always chatting about how we can be involved and speak with you guys
Yes.
and talk about the show. And we were trying to find so many different ways. And sometimes technical issues come up that we have to kind of navigate. But whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, like we want
Mhm.
to chat with you guys. And we tried to get on a lot of Instagram lives because a lot of us are on
Yes.
Instagram.
It was
Try
good.
to chat with
Good.
you guys that way to be like, we want to
Yes.
feel like we're all watching and we're all in this together because we are. You guys, it's such a cool thing. It's such a big reason why I love what I do so much is I love that we all get to share the experience together. Like we all feel like
Mhm.
we're a part of something together because we are.
Together.
You guys are a
Yeah.
part of the show. Like you are
Yep.
the reason that there's excitement and energy underneath it. And like that, like you guys are such a huge part of it. So for us, we want to talk with you as much as possible. It's more about navigating the best ways to do that. But yeah, whether it's Twitter, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram, if it's something, if you're looking for a third season, definitely letting it be clear online is always helpful for sure to let them know we
Okay.
want to see three, we're ready to go.
So sometimes in the past, like I'm just going to use, I know I already used this once, but it's fresh in my mind. For those that love like Chris McNally and they're like, oh, we want to see him in more Chris McNally in Christmas movies or whatever. And they come up with a fun hashtag and we just
Oh
pick
yeah,
a random day sometimes, or we like he's a foodie. So foodie day is coming
love
up.
it.
It's the 28th of June.
Nice.
Well, every time we do it, it's like it trends. It's like
That's awesome.
constant. Well, this is the kind of stuff I think that they're talking about. That even though When Hope Calls has had its finale, it doesn't mean that we can't celebrate it and still keep
Oh,
talking about it.
100%. We want to keep
Yeah,
talking about it. Keep the
good.
conversation moving, and hopefully,
Yes.
hopefully after all the conversations, we'll have an announcement of some sort. So we'll see. But yes, definitely promoting the show, talking about your love of the show. All these things are
Mhm.
great. Like they
We're gonna have
really
to
do.
organize. We'll organize and I'll send a message to you. And if you see it, you see it. If you don't, you don't, but we'll keep you in the loop. And what I like
Oh,
to
I
do is
love that.
when we do it, even if we did like certain characters, we'll do it for certain characters. I send the info on to your management so they can pass it on to you.
Oh, that's
Um,
brilliant.
yeah, so then you get to see.
That's
And
great.
then when you have a minute, you can always go, you can go on to stuff like X or whatever and research the hashtag, and then you get to see all the things
Well,
that
that's
happen.
well, we could make a When Hope Calls season 3 hashtag.
We can.
We
We
get that
absolutely
trending.
can.
That'd be great.
Yes, that would be we'll make that one of the things. Good idea.
Great.
We'll do it.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. So I'm just going to show you some of the things before we say goodnight. So Anita says, hi,
Oh,
Roxanne. They're loving the interview with you.
Anita and
And
Judy.
Judy too. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. And
thank you. That's so nice.
I know.
Love you guys too. Thank you so much for the support and the love. I feel it so much. And I really couldn't appreciate it more, really.
Yes, they
And
love you.
Roxanne, you're so lovely. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You caught me on a good day. Sometimes I could be
Listen, we're human. We all go there, but you're so
never,
wonderful.
never to my guests. Usually when something perturbs me on somewhere, then I'll be like, "Rah, rah, rah, rah." But respectful, but rah. A little bit like Tess.
Listen, we love Tess. We love her. We love her a lot.
No. All right. You can say goodnight and then we'll say goodnight after we cut off the live.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you guys so much for joining. So much love. Thank you. And hopefully we will chat soon.